diets don't work. Secondly, I want to explain to you really exactly what intuitive eating and this finding food freedom that I'm always talking about is, because I know that it can be really complicating, and I'm just really excited to be here to share this training with you guys today. I really want you guys to walk away with some ahas today, and I would love it if you would, as you're hopping on, say hello, tell me who you are, ask me any questions, and most importantly, share any ahas with me that you have in the comments below. And for those of you that are interested in a brand new mini course that I just created for you guys, you'll have a special invitation at the end and a link, okay, to check it out. But as you guys are hopping on, I just want to say welcome to this Ditching Diets Together training today. If you're watching the replay, welcome, glad you're here. I'm just so glad that you're giving yourself the space and the time to really be with me today and be present here in this training. I think it says so much, you guys, about who you are and what you care about and just taking care of yourself. And I just really want you to walk away with a better understanding today of why diets don't work and why ditching diets is the best decision you guys could ever make. So the purpose of this training today is really to share with you the reason why diets don't work, how sneaky diets can be, and what actually happens to your body when you diet. Okay, I also like to encourage you guys to stay present, stay in the moment. So if you have your cell phones, now's a great time to put it on silent, just so during this next few minutes together, we have a space and we have time. Grab something to write notes down on. You can ask me questions, and I will wait to the end to answer any and all of your questions till we're through, okay? So let's all just spend this time together being present over the next few minutes in this short training. And I'm so glad you guys that are joining me today and you're watching the replay. I'm so glad that you're taking the time to do this. So if you're jumping on and you're wondering if this training is for you today, first of all, I really think this type of information is for everyone, for all people, you guys. However, you will know that you're in the right place for this training today if you've been on and off diets, clean eating plans. Maybe you're wondering if your habits are really healthy. Maybe you're confused about the process of finding food freedom and how intuitive eating really works, or how you can actually apply the book and the things that you're consuming to your actual life. Because I get it, it can be really difficult. You might see things on Instagram, or you might read things or listen to a podcast, but then putting it into practice into your real life and making it work for you can be really confusing and really difficult. So you may be frustrated that when maybe you previously tried to stop dieting, right? And then you try to give yourself permission to eat the foods and you end up eating everything in sight. Or maybe you're embarrassed by that. And so then you get the guilt and the shame and you want to run and hide. Or maybe you're embarrassed because you end up spiraling even deeper into these like patterns of control and disordered eating, because the lack of control that comes with allowing yourself permission to eat is just too scary for you. So I want you to stick around for this training, because it's for you if you want to lose weight, but it's never really working. You're often on diets and you're tired of the hamster wheel. You're tired of the failed attempts at trying to lose weight. And maybe you're just confused by all the TMI, just too much information. There's too much nutrition noise out there. And you just want to learn how to eat for your body in a way that's not absolute. It's not extreme. So if you're just now seeing me for the first time, be like, who is this lady? Wondering who the heck I am and how I can help you. First of all, I want you to know that I've been in your shoes. I have tried to control my eating through cutting things out, through obsessive eating, through orthorectic behaviors. And the funny thing was, the more that I tried to control what I ate and cut out foods, the more health issues that I had. And I see this now all the time with women. So during my years of dieting and controlling my food, I had significantly worse digestive issues. I was constantly stressed out and anxious. And all of these things, you guys, I lost my period at one point. All of these things in the name of health made me feel even worse until I discovered intuitive eating. So this is the process that I now share with the women that I work with, called Finding Food Freedom. It's based on those principles of intuitive eating. So I was able to improve my health, my relationship with food, you guys, which was so important to me because it gave me my life back. It allowed me to be compassionate with myself. And I hope that you feel that way too. And if you aren't there yet, I hope and pray you get there, because intuitive eating, it just really helped me make peace with my body and with food. And more importantly, this Finding Food Freedom that I'm always talking about, is it just gave me my brain space back. It gave me my life. You know, instead of being consumed with thoughts of food and or my body, I can now focus on things that really matter. So part of that journey for me is now helping other women discover this too. So I've been doing this for women, with women for years now. And I've worked with hundreds of women. And so I can really understand and see where they're at in the process, because this is highly individualized, this process. This is the same thing that I do in my private one-on-one work with clients and in our group program. And now I want to teach it to you guys too. Okay, so let's start with this. Why don't diets work? Let's just dig right into that. I think the best place to start today is to define what a diet really is. And I think it's truly hard to understand what is dieting, because the diet industry, it's changed so much over the years. So we all know South Beach, Atkins, counting calories. But what's so confusing is a lot of these diet messages in today's world, they're more about lifestyles or ways of eating that you say, you know, they say, well, you can stick with this for life. So diets haven't disappeared. They've just reinvented themselves to sound less like diets and more like a lifestyle. So this is the things like all these clean eating messages that we see in the health and the wellness world today, so heavy. Or Weight Watchers, yet again, they've rebranded themselves to a kind of lifestyle about elevating yourself. And ultimately, it boils down to this message, which is literally lose weight and look like me to have the perfect health. And I know for some of you listening, this might be really hard, because there is that time, and I was there too, that I believe so deeply that I wasn't dieting, that I was just doing this for health, that I was healthy. And even though I was like making green smoothies and I was eating clean or eating better than everyone else, I was this dietitian, right? I was giving out my reset programs. I was eating vegetables and cleaner than everyone else. I thought if I could just prove this way, to be this person, to show everyone that this was who I was, that I was going to be enough. You guys, I struggled with self-esteem, self-worth. I needed validation from others. So if I was eating clean and I was this thin ideal, then I would get compliments and it would fix everything. So yeah, I was chatting with someone this week that I was working with, and she was telling me this exact thing. She's like, I just I wish I had known this years ago. So in Framework 1, my group program, Finding Food Freedom, we work really hard on understanding diet mentality and ditching that. But let me tell you a little bit about diet culture today. It doesn't respect the science behind set points. Y'all, basically, it always boils down to this message to be as thin as possible. So diet culture, it gives you external plans and a lifestyle, but it doesn't allow for your body's interoceptive cues, that mind-body connection. The external rules, they're generalized. They're not individualized for you and what you're going through and your individual needs. So diet culture is super sneaky. So I'm not trying to call you out here. I just want you to step back and think. Some sneaky versions of diet culture, for example, that pop into my head are things like Whole30. And we actually have a case study on Whole30 in my program, but vegan for diet reasons. I'm not talking environmental reasons, but skinny tea, keto, intermittent fasting, celery juice. I just want to be very clear that when I say there's nothing wrong with caring about eating for your health or wanting to eat nutritious foods, but when it becomes absolute, when you have all these rigid rules, or it comes with a message that you must be a certain size to have health, that's when we know it's a diet. And diets don't work. So we need to learn how to stop dieting. So what's interesting is we all know that diets don't work. So let me give you a good example is Weight Watchers. They changed their marketing, you guys, so much over the years. I think they just rebranded again. But let me get to the science behind it. So when we diet, we put our bodies in a state of semi-starvation. So our bodies go into, you've heard it before, starvation mode probably, but that's to help us survive. So your body has literally no idea that you're going on this diet on purpose. Our bodies are hardwired to help us survive because it's how we were created. So if it senses this lack of food, a survival mechanism will kick in. So first of all, this survival mechanism, what does it do when it kicks in? It slows your metabolism down. This explains why so many people have to maintain a super strict diet to maintain their weight once they start dieting. So when you constantly eat less, your body will learn to adapt to live off of that amount. Secondly, hormones will learn to adapt. This is extremely important to understand, but there's this cascade of hormone change as well. So your hormones will learn to adapt. In particular, one called leptin. This is the hormone specifically involved to help you feel full. So this contributes to the binge pattern we often see when we're dieting, and we have the restriction, and then we have this after binge. So with all these hormonal adaptations, it's no wonder that your body and your mind become so obsessed around food. It's like saying, hey, I'm in famine, I'm in starvation, and I need you to give me some food. So to me, it's no wonder that we're preoccupied and that food is the only thing that we're thinking about day and night. There's something I want to mention too, and it's called the Seduction Trap. So I want you to think about the first time you ever went on a diet, maybe cut out foods or counted calories. Maybe you did a Whole30 and you saw success. Maybe you saw improved energy, maybe improved brain fog, and of course, weight loss. The very first diet you went on. This is called the Seduction Trap. What happens next comes the adaptation. So with any new diets, your body will work harder and harder to keep that first time, to keep adapting. So your body makes you think that when it can't maintain, that it's all your fault and that your body doesn't work. So you might start to feel crazy around food, and you think about it maybe 24/7, and maybe you're even seeing weight gain. And these are all things that your body's trying to do as you diet down to try to survive. So over time, with each new diet you try, with each new cleanse, it gets harder and harder for your body to lose weight, or for you to see any of those other perceived health benefits like less acne, better, clearer skin, better digestion. Last but not least, y'all, we have zero evidence, of dieting long-term. Long-term is over 5 years, but we have the highest level of evidence to show that people that diet may lose weight at the start of the diet, but 95 to 98% will gain back more than the original weight that they lost. So many diets, this data, this effective data, we don't have any data past long-term weight loss, so 3 to 5 years. I really want you to let that sink in, because this is something, you guys, that no one talks about. And all those, if you ever hear of any successful studies, different diets, they're rarely over 6 months. But we have really comprehensive data to show that dieting does not lead to weight loss in the long term. And honestly, though, you guys, research aside, I want you to think right now about your own personal history with dieting. And we have a tool that will help you more with this in the new program. So the worst part is diet culture makes us believe that it's our own fault. Spoiler alert, you guys, it's not our fault. It is not our fault that the Whole30s, that the Weight Watchers, yet again, did not work for us, because you don't need to diet harder. You don't need to cut out any more foods or food groups. I just can't leave this training today without talking about the negative effects of dieting on our health. And I want to talk about weight cycling. So 40% of dieters gain even more weight than their initial starting point. So with each diet, our body's set point increases as our bodies adapt to this semi-state of starvation. So dieting can increase your body's natural weight set point as it continues long term. This is a really important thing to know. This is a huge part of why diets don't work and why my message is so clear to stop dieting, because it's the weight cycling that causes our health problems. And I want to talk about inflammation, because it's a buzzword in the wellness world that says, we should be cutting out certain foods to reduce inflammation. Y'all, dieting in and of itself is causing our body inflammation. So this is a response your body has when it's under stress. So unfortunately, over time, if you continue to cut out foods, your body will begin to release more and more cortisol, which is your body's stress hormone. So because your body is created to do this, it's adapting, it knows what's happening, it releases more and more of this hormone. So it gets hard for your cortisol levels to come down, because your body is living in a constant state of chronic inflammation from undereating, from over-exercising, possibly from restriction. And this will cause your cortisol levels to remain high. So I'm not saying that dieting is the cause of all inflammation, but I would love for you guys to just sit back and consider a couple of things with me now. If you're not eating enough, if you're waging war on your body, if you're over-exercising, could this be a contributing factor in the stress response that your body's having in the form of inflammation? You guys, your body loves you. It was created for you. It's just trying to survive. It doesn't hate you. I know you're like, okay, Wendy, well, what's the alternative? Call in a truce. Call a truce. Wave the white flag. The war against your body. You guys, why do I love intuitive eating so much? My favorite part about it is the joy that comes with the freedom. It's the joy to eat the foods that you love and not have that inner mean girl, that negative self-talk, that body checking. It's just the joy of being able to listen to your body, to not have food and constant body checking and negative talk in your mind 24/7. Okay, so you've heard about why diets don't work. You've heard about why I love intuitive eating. And if you want to reclaim your life from the dieting, the body checking, the obsession, the constantly thinking, if this resonated with you guys today, I want you to go check out the link and get your Ditching Diets Together blueprint so you can stop dieting today once and for all. If you want to learn how to stop dieting and start visualizing a better future for yourself and come up with a plan so you can find that food freedom. So I just want to ask you, do you feel like you've spent years of your life dieting, counting calories, points, macros, tried over exercising, you tried cutting out foods, eating clean, you tried keto, intermittent fasting? If you've tried all those things and you have nothing to show, the Ditching Diets Together blueprint is a quick workshop and tutorial bundle to really help you lay the foundation to that missing piece, to that confusing diet puzzle. So you guys, the women that struggle the most are the ones that are constantly chasing after that next shiny object. They're just simply not in the right headspace to take care of themselves and their health. So I created this mini course to help you guys, walk you through a process to get you in that brain space to finally stop dieting and start making a change. And this is the same process that I start with all of my one-on-one clients and all the members of Finding Food Freedom as they embark on the journey to ditch diets and to find food freedom. This is the first step. So now I'm teaching it to you. And if you're ready to restore your confidence in your relationship with food, then I want to encourage you and invite you to grab your Ditching Diets Together blueprint. The link is in the comments in the bio, and I will see you guys inside. Bye.